Hello. In the last lesson, we learned about how to check if our string contains letters. What about checking if they are symbols? There's no specific method of finding if a string value contains only symbols. The method is all norm. Checks if there's a digit or letters. Using not is all norm may seem like a way to check if there's no digits and letters, meaning only symbols. But that doesn't work. It can only check if there's only one symbol in a string. Let us take a look at how we can actually check if we have multiple symbols on our string, or possibly check if all we have are symbols. Now, compared to what we've been writing, this is a bit different. I just want you to pay attention and I will explain how it works. If we run our program, we'll see basically that this first, even though all we have is only symbol, the is all norm is showing true. Now, if we check this as well, we have letters, we also have numbers, and it's showing false. If we also check this, that has symbol with this, is showing true. Now, let's look at a more defined way to achieve this. In fact, before we do that, let's run it to make sure that all our predictions are right. As you can see, pretty much cool. Now, let's write a function that will allow us to do this. But before that, let's import a Python library, which is string. We're going to learn about this as well, but let's just import it for now. So we're importing string. Once you're done importing string on top of your file, now let's write some code. I'm going to call the print function. Then I also want to call the all function. Now, what the all do basically is they all execute the program in it and return all the value. Let's see how that works. Once I have the all, so let's say we want, let's just do symbol. I'm going to explain how this works just in a moment. In string .punctuation, for symbol, in fact, let's just copy this. Let me see what we have here. Okay, I think everything looks good. Now, what we have here basically is, remember that we imported the string, which is this. So you're calling the punctuation. In other words, look for every symbol, anything that isn't number, that isn't letter. That is what this line is basically doing. Now, you are looking for it in all the letters here. In other words, you're checking every letter, and returning whether it's true or false. And this is what we call for loop, right? We're going to learn about that as well. Well, this is the for loop that is helping us to really loop through all this list. In other words, you're saying for symbol in only symbols, right? So which means at every point it runs, it's going to be grabbing them one by one. So this is becoming a variable, right? Then the variable is what you're referencing here. Like I said, you're going to learn this in later courses. However, just know that we are performing a loop. We're looping through all the characters one by one, and then we are checking if they are punctuations. Now, if we run this, let's see, if we run our F5, you can see it's returning true. Automatically, we're able to really check, and that works. How about we want to check for this as well? Let's see. I can as well just duplicate this, and we just need to reference no symbols. No symbols. Then let's do for the last one. The last one is symbols and non-symbols. Let's see what we get. If I run the F5, so you can see that we got false at the end. Now, while this is giving you true, true, and false, so you're asking here bool and non-symbols. But the truth is, it's supposed to return false because there is a character in between, but it's returning true. But because we are running specific program here to check, we're able to detect that there is something hidden here. There is art in between. Now, this is really very cool when you really want to understand how to identify some of the symbol in your character. However, one thing I want you to know is the all function actually returns true if all the conditions are true. In other words, it's going to count and check everything. If everything is true, that is only when the all will return true. Take for instance, this return false because every other letter apart this is false, and as a result, it is going to return false. The same goes to this as well. Everything is false, so it's going to return false. But for this at the top, everything here are symbols. So everything is true and is going to return true. You can see strategically that this works. The reason why we're able to see the two returning false and this returning true. Pretty much that is cool. So you've been able to learn how to really check some of this character and really determine what they are. In the next lesson, we're going to see how to write some conditional statements and see how you can check and also write some program if the conditions are met. So that's how we wrap it up on today's session. If you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media handles. Don't forget to click the bell so that you can be notified every time we release a new tip. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.